The running back position is in a weird spot right now. Not many starting running backs are going down with injuries. It's less compared to previous years. So when we see something happen to one of the starting running backs and we see one of the backup running backs get a little bit of opportunity, people are getting excited about the waiver wire. Now we're seeing J.K. Dobbins injured. He's going to be out for some time. Everybody's looking at Gus Edwards. However, there's a batch of people looking at Kimani Vidal as well as a stash for their bench for the foreseeable future because he's got some upside. We're going to deep dive him right now, going over the advanced analytics and everything else to see whether or not you need him for your fantasy football team. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button. Right now, we're doing these deep dives all the time, every day, multiple players on these trending guys to see whether or not you need them for your fantasy team. On top of that, we're using these videos to help you set your lineups. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. Do not disappoint Ric Flair. J.K. Dobbins will miss some time. He's going to be out for a bit. We're watching this backfield. The Chargers like to use their running backs. They give them a lot of carries. They give them a lot of opportunities out of the backfield. J.K. Dobbins was running a lot of routes. He was the man back there. He's going to miss some time now with the knee issue. And we're looking at this backfield. Yesterday we talked about Gus Edwards, how he's in line for the touches. He's going to be the next man up. But yards per carry on the field has not been efficient. Hassan Haskins, the former Michigan man with Harbaugh, is another guy that could be seeing opportunities in this backfield. Kamari Vidal last week was a healthy scratch. However, his role in this offense is a little bit different. And on top of that, when you look at him compared to the other running backs on the depth chart, there's something there that some fantasy gamers are very interested in. And when you're looking at him, not super productive on the season, but against Denver week 6, we caught that ball for a touchdown downfield. He's good in the receiving game. They'll allow him to run more routes than the other running backs. He can also pound it between the tackles. He's very assertive with good vision and good size, adjusted athleticism. And he scored 13.1 PPR fantasy points in week 6, an RB2 for that week. And we haven't seen anything else since then, but we've been watching him from afar as a stash option because we see the upside with Kimani Vidal, and all it takes is one carry, one opportunity, and there's a chance that he earns more work in the offense and explodes down the line. And you're looking at what he did in college. He was very productive at Troy, at the Sun Belt. 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns in 2022, 1,600 yards and 14 touchdowns last year. One of the top running backs in the country with 94 missed tackles and averaged over 3 yards after contact per attempt every single season. 3.58 last year, 3.32 the year prior, and we were productive every year of his career. Every single year, and we were getting work in the passing game. 92 catches on his career. We played at the G5 level. That being said, played against small school competition. We fell in the draft. We went in the 6th round. However, he's a money ball play. Due to his college production, size-adjusted athleticism, was able to do a little something on the field already. Good size to him, and we run with a lot of wiggle and power. We saw it in preseason, him getting it done between the tackles, carrying the rock. Kamari Vidal has some upside. Not a generational talent or anything, but a running back that could surprise you down the line if given more opportunity. More like a chip to gamble on, not a chip you must have, like a chip to have on the back end of your roster just in case he gets some opportunity. Gus has an extensive injury history, which could come back up. On top of that, he has not been very efficient, averaging 3.3 yards per carry this season. How are you going to ride that out with a lot of touches if that keeps happening? And then you're looking at Hassan Haskins, 2. But Kamari Vidal, 2.4. J.K. Dobbins was getting it done. But Kamari Vidal has more upside to his game due to that. But Gus Edwards, though, is the crafty veteran, good between the tackles, productive with the Ravens last year. But this is also not the Ravens. Thing is, we're talking about an alternate scenario where if things go wrong with Gus Edwards, the offense is slow, this offense is not looking good, then they're going to lean on Haskins and Vidal, see what's up with those running backs because Gus Edwards not getting it done. But Gus Edwards is good enough to get it done to a certain degree, so that's something that is in the cards here for Kimani Vidal. But the thing about Kimani Vidal, he's ran 23 routes on the season, 4 games played, 22.1% snap share versus a 31.9% snap share on 6 games, and Gus Edwards only ran 5 routes. Hassan Haskins has not ran his first route yet with the Chargers. That being said, they're going to bring Vidal up, and they're going to see what he's going to do in the passing game. They're going to allow him to run some routes. They're going to give him some opportunity that way, and maybe he catches some balls here. Maybe he gets 3 to 5 targets initially. But if something happens to Gus Edwards, and it's not rocking with Hassan Haskins, the upside play could be there. But he's not a guaranteed thing. He's just an upside lottery ticket play. The thing about this, we have about 10 to 15 lottery ticket running backs right now waiting in the wings, and we're waiting on something to happen here. I did a video earlier this week on all the handcuffed running backs in the National Football League, one for every team, talking about their scenario. You need to go watch that video to see what could potentially happen and which ones do you like the best. You do need to have a handcuffed running back stashed on your roster, whether it's him, Braylon Allen, Trey Benson, Blake Corum, or whoever it is, Jonathan Brooks. You need 1 or 2 of those guys just in case you're in the fantasy playoffs and a running back breaks and it's one of the top handcuffed running backs in the league, because you do not want to have to fight for him off the waiver wire. Going back to last week against the Ravens here in the Harbaugh Bowl, J.K. Dobbins 6 carries, 40 yards. Gus Edwards got the work. We know he's going to get the work. Kamari Vidal wasn't even in this game. He was a healthy scratch, but he'll be brought back up, or should be brought back up. I'm not even predicting that. He should be, because they're carrying 3 running backs, and they want to carry 3 running backs. Should be brought back up, but we're not saying he's going to go off. He is a lottery ticket just in case something happens to this offense, or they decide, hey, we're going to use Vidal a little bit more. We need some more pop in the step. Let's see what he's got. He gets a series. He takes the ball and runs with it, and everything's golden. He's also going to get more work in the passing game if he's on the field, because he's the guy running the routes. Between these 2 running backs, Haskins and Edwards, we only got a few routes ran. We got less routes than Vidal ran on more games. That being said, Edwards out here, 9 carries, 11 yards. If this continues, they're not going to be too excited about that. Gus Edwards has an extensive injury history, like I said earlier. That could come back into play at any given moment, because it has happened on any given moment. So that is not a prediction. That is just there. That is just there. That's waiting in the wings. That could potentially happen too. That's why you're looking at Kimani Vidal as an upside play. And honestly, I'm pointing this out because a lot of people are pointing this out. Like, hey, you need Kimani Vidal, not Gus Edwards. And half the video was about Kamari Vidal when I was talking about Gus Edwards. So guess what? Like always, Kamari Vidal is going to get his own video, because that's how I do it. I'll break down all the running backs. Don't push me, or I'll make a Hassan Haskins video. That being said, Gus Edwards is the man here. He is the pivotal point for the Kamari Vidal scenario, which, if he doesn't play well, gets injured or whatnot, Kamari Vidal is going to see some opportunity. Hassan Haskins, though, is a Michigan guy. Played with Harbaugh. However, he hasn't done anything at the NFL level, and Kimani Vidal has more RB2 weeks than he does, and he's been in the league since 2022. That being said, Haskins is a player to watch because he can handle volume up the gut. At Michigan, he is very elusive for his size, a bigger running back, goal line back, might surprise you on some of these weekends with some goal line work. That being said, pay attention to the backfield. Vidal is the upside play due to everything else, but pay attention to this backfield. And you're looking at the schedule going forward, it's so-so. It's so-so. Middle of the road when it comes to allowing fantasy points to running backs. You're still just paying attention to this backfield, because you do not know how it's going to shake out with Dobbins out. We got the Chiefs coming up. We got the Broncos coming up. We got some eerie matchups still. That being said, you're paying attention to how the touches are going to turn out for this team, because there is some upside just voluming in the fantasy production. That could potentially happen in some of these games. That being said, there's not many upside matchups going forward for this team. You don't need them. You got enough stashes. You got better stashes. You got Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks. You got somebody on your team that you'd rather have stashed. You got a couple of them. You don't want Kimani Vidal. You started earlier this season, and you're like, I'm good enough. You don't like the schedule. That's fine. You do not need him, absolutely. However, you do need to have a stash option on your team, on the back end of your roster. You're picking him up. You like the upside. You like him in preseason. You think another go-around with some opportunity might be there for him, and that could potentially happen. You like him better than Gus Edwards and Hassan Haskins due to the potential upside, the size of just athleticism, work in the passing game, so you're highly interested. go ahead. You need to stash, though. You need to be stashing somebody. That last spot on your roster ain't going to do anything. Ain't going to win your league unless it is a lottery ticket that goes boom on you. Most of your lottery tickets aren't going to hit. They're not going to hit. However, when you're looking at lottery tickets, if you get one that hits every couple years, you know what? When you win that league because of that, that's going to pay for all the other leagues. On top of that, you win that league, you're going to dominate the playoffs if that lottery player hits or comes in line for you, and it's covering a roster spot that you're really not going to use in your lineups anyway, unless you've been using it and you already know you're not going to do it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.